Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Hello.
Lovely to see you here today. My name is Dr. Stella Mascarenhas-Keys. I'm a social scientist and a particular interest in the anthropology of food. It's my pleasure to host this evening's Cookalong with our Mexican chefs. And we've got a wonderful family who are joining us, and all three of them are going to be involved in cooking. So let's start with the youngest one. Your name is?
Kareem, also known as Itzel.
Okay, Kareem, known as Itzel. Yes, this is our youngest. And if there are any children involved, we'd lovely to have you participate in the cooking. So,
I'm Amaya, I'm Kareem's sister, and this is my dad.
And Dad?
Yeah, I'm Rodolfo. So those are my daughters. And then now we're having some business about Mexican food.
Yeah,
So-
which we'll talk about as well. So, I've met the family only a couple of weeks ago, and it's been a great pleasure to meet them and to talk about their life, which we'll talk about a bit more later on, about the migration to England, but also about Mexico and about the cuisine. And you'll see us moving around. So I'll be the constant one, but at some point Kareem will cook, another time Amaya will come into the cooking, and another time Dad, Rodolfo.
Yeah.
So, how about a bit of dancing? Some music?
Yeah.
Come on, everybody. Let's see you dancing at home.
Groove.
Yep, I can see some of you at home. Yeah. Relax, breathe. Right, okay, well, shall we
Are you
start, Dad? You're going to tell us a little bit about the ingredients.
Yeah, that's right.
And while Dad's going to tell us about the ingredients, perhaps you'll put your ovens on
Yeah.
at 180 degrees just to warm it up so that we're ready to make the empanadas. Because we'll tell you about the running order. Okay, so, my dear, can you? Let's have
come
Dad
back
here.
in a second.
They'll
That's
come
right.
back, don't worry, they'll be back. So,
Yeah.
what have you got on the table for us?
Well, Stella, yes, we have onions. That is really basic in the Mexican food. We have as well some chicken. We have some chorizo. That in Mexico we use the chorizo, and then it's coming that came through the Spain culture, because you know Mexico was part of the Spanish.
Yes, we'll talk
many
yeah,
years ago.
Excellent, we'll talk
So
about
we
that.
have tomatoes, and then the tomatoes are original from Mexico. So I can tell, I'm really proud to tell to the people, tomatoes came to the world because they was growing out in the
In
first time in Mexico. So
Right.
that's, so as well we have some veggies that we're gonna use for the rice, some eggs, and then we have here some guacamole just to share at the end. Chiles, that is basically in the Mexican food.
Yes.
And then as well, some bay leaves that we're gonna use for the tinga, and some honey, and then jam that's gonna be used for the empanadas.
Yeah.
That's the ingredients that we have
Well,
now.
there's a bit more. You've got some chorizos. So, the trinity of ingredients, very important in Mexico, is chilies. So, we'll talk about the different types of chilies
Yeah.
in a minute. We've got beans.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
this time we're using.
We're using black beans, but normally it's pinto beans, which is the most popular to Mexico. And we've got the tortillas. So,
Yeah,
our
yeah.
tortillas in our little container.
The tortillas are over
Our
here.
tortillas, right. So, this is known as the trinity of foods in Mexico.
Yeah.
And some tortillas we've made in advance because it's a long process, but
Yeah.
we'll talk a bit more about it later. And we'll show you how they're made, we'll show you a couple of pictures, and we'll also have a little machine here. Because it's very time consuming, we're not actually making the tortillas, we did ask you to bring some along.
Yeah.
So, we're going to make a number of things today. We're going to do it in reverse order. We're going to start with the empanadas because they need to be put into the oven. And Kareem, our youngest, is going to be the person doing the cooking.
But
So all the children here at home, this will be your moment if you want to be involved. And then, Rodolfo?
I just wanted to tell you that you can start to boil your chicken, because it's gonna be, it
Yes.
needs to be boiling for 20 minutes.
Yes,
in
we're
the
going to tell
water.
them that. So we have some chicken, which if you put it into your pan with
Water,
about 2 or 3 cups of water,
the garlic,
a little bit of the garlic,
and then I'm just gonna put water in the.
and that's going to be left to cook, because with the chicken, we need to allow it to cook and then to cool down. I should say at any time if you want to ask any questions, please put it in the chat box and our very good friend Tom will ask us the questions. If you think we're going too fast, ask to slow down. If you want a repeat of the instructions, you can ask for that as well. So this is your event. Please, we want you to be able to cook and enjoy it and to have the chance then to enjoy eating the food at the end.
We've got one question already.
One question already, yes.
Do we need to cut the chicken up?
No, don't cut the chicken up. Just put the chicken breasts as they are into your pan of water and put it on the hob. We're going to let it cook for about 20 minutes. So if you want to set your timer at home for about 20 minutes, and then we'll let the chicken cook. So I can see everybody trying to do that. Give me a thumbs up when you've managed to do that.
We've got another question. Do we need to chop the garlic?
No, you don't have to chop the garlic. You can just throw it in whole. And if you've chopped it already, that's fine, but you can just throw it in whole. And while we're waiting for you to come back to that, I'm just going to have a little chat with Kareem. So, how old are you?
I'm 8 years old.
8? I thought you were 6. No, you're 8 years old. All right. And how long have you been in England?
About 5 years.
Right. So you came when you were 3.
Yes.
So where did you grow up in Mexico then for 3 years?
Reynosa.
Reynosa. Do we know where Reynosa is?
I do.
You do. Yes, but I think those of you, there's a map of Mexico coming up. And as you can see, Mexico's got lots of different cities. Mexico City, but Reynosa is where
The little
Kareem.
drop is Reynosa.
The drop is Reynosa. Good. Okay, so that's where Kareem comes from. Now, how's everybody doing? I can see everybody's trying to... You got your chicken on the hob? Yes? Thumbs up from lots of people. Great. I can only tell by those who've got the cameras on. I know a number of people haven't got them on, but those who have, that's fine if you don't, if you're just watching. But those who've got the chicken on now, that's fantastic. Okay, we're going to start off with the empanadas. The reason why we're starting with that first is because we're going to put it in the oven. After we've done the empanadas, we'll be making the rice, the beans, and then the tinga, which is made with chicken. The reason why you've got the chicken cooking now is that it needs about 20 minutes to cook. Then we'll bring it out and let it cool down while we're cooking the other ingredients. Okay, so let's start with the empanadas. Now, empanadas is a very popular dish, not only in Mexico, but in many other parts of the world as well. And if you've got your pastry in front of you, your packets of pastry, the puff pastry. So if everybody brings their puff pastry out, yes, everybody, puff pastry. Okay, let's open that. Now, this pastry I think is made with wheat, but traditionally, empanadas in Mexico are made with corn because corn is a very important ingredient in Mexican cuisine. So, this puff pastry is obtained in advance. Again, it would take us a lot of time to prepare the pastry. So, if you have your pastry ready, you can open the packets. Once you've done that, you can't open it, right.
Stiff!
It's stiff.
Yes, it is!
Okay, got it. Have I got more strength than you then?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
A lot.
A lot more. Now, you don't have to put it on a chopping board because the pastry you were asked to get has already got parchment paper underneath. So all you got to do is
roll it out.
Roll it out.
Wait, it's stuck, it's stuck, it's stuck.
So if
it gets stuck, pull it away with your fingers.
Yep. Everybody got the pastry? Okay. Now, with the pastry, we're going to... Have you got a knife to cut it up? You're going to use a cup?
Yes.
Okay.
If you don't have the correct cup and you want perfect... If you don't have the correct knife and you want perfect circles, use a cup.
Okay, got it? Right, okay. Now, What are we going to do with the cup, Kareem?
You place it down gently and then press down on the pastry. And hopefully it won't stick to the cup.
How's everybody doing with that? Yes, you're
And you
cutting,
should
making
have a
little
perfect
circles.
circle.
Maybe you can do it by knife or something that will give you a shape. So, everybody got that?
But no triangles.
We're going to be making different types of empanadas. So in Mexico, they can be made savory, they can be made sweet. We're going to make them sweet because it's going to be our dessert.
Yes.
So,
A delicious sweet dessert.
a delicious sweet dessert. So we can
Square.
make something like 6 empanadas today. How's everybody doing?
We can fit at least 8 empanadas.
Right, we'll go for 6 to start off with. So how's everybody doing with cutting the circles? Yes? Okay. Once you've got your circles, take them off the pastry. Yes?
Gently.
Gently. Well, you've heard what Kareem said, gently, so that you've got the little
Not
circle.
yanking them off like a plaster.
I can see everybody trying to do that. Good. Yes, let's get the little...
And children which are underneath the age of 8 don't eat the raw pastry.
Right.
Or any age. Don't eat the pastry.
Don't eat the pastry. Okay, so how's everybody doing? Have you got your little circles for the empanadas? Thumbs up if you have.
Thumbs down if you haven't.
Okay, right.
Still fidgeting over here. Just doing this by hand.
It does get a little bit sticky, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
that's when you have to put it in the fridge.
Well, it was in the fridge, I think. Okay.
It was, but once it's a bit too warm,
Okay, so let's
you put it back.
The first empanada. I'll do that. Okay. So, what are we going to put in the middle of that empanada, the first
So
one?
I actually know how to do this, and I'll show you guys. So you might want to leave a little space with a spoon. I used a spoon to make sure your finger can go around the edge. So you might want to cut out like a little line. And only on one half, not the entire thing, or else I'll just spill. We don't want that.
Okay.
Then you grab what you want to go inside.
So you're using
Not
some
that
jam.
much. Yes, I love jam in mine.
You're going to put jam in that one. Okay,
I
so
think that would be a good
let's get a bit of jam
Yep,
and put that in there.
in the middle.
In the middle. Yes.
No,
Now,
maybe so.
Okay.
Then you will fold it.
Fold it over.
And you will grab a fork. And like a dumpling, if you've ever made dumplings, you would press down on the edges. It's hard, not easy.
Okay, so you're pressing down on the edges of the empanada with the fork. So you'll get a kind of fluted edge to it. It also secures the food inside the empanada.
And it should
Okay.
look like this.
Can you see that? Can you see the empanada? Okay, great. Let's make another one with the sweet potato. How about that?
It should look like this. Nice and orange and bright.
So if you've got some mashed sweet potatoes, if we asked you to prepare
It's
them,
made, you boil the mashed potato. First you peel the mashed potato, then you cut the mashed potato. And if you want me to go a bit slower,
they've done it already. So let's put the sweet potato in there. So your second filling, or you can use the same filling. It's up to you.
and you can also use honey.
Yeah, we're going to use some honey as well. So
Don't forget to mark out the lining.
I'll make one as well, shall I? I'll make a sweet potato one
Good
here.
idea.
And maybe
jam ones are
if
mine.
children are making it, parents can help the children with making the other ones as well, so that it doesn't take us too much time.
No, we don't want that.
And I'm going to make another one with some jam. How's everybody doing? with making your empanadas. You done? Great, I can see thumbs up. So,
And I'd say, Viva la Mexico!
Viva la Mexico, of course. Okay, now, Kareem, you're also going to put a little bit of egg on top, are you?
Yes!
So, let's get an egg.
But that's when we finished every single one.
Yes, so let's...
Because then it's easier.
So, while your children are doing the empanadas, or somebody else in the family, take an egg and crack it open in a bowl. Because this is going to be the glaze for the empanadas.
To get some top-notch empanadas.
Yes. So, and whisk it a bit.
Some may spill. Some may spill of the filling, and don't worry, that's totally normal.
All right. So, do you want to put the... Right.
I'll put it on when we've finished with these, Stella.
Okay, so...
You go putting them on.
When you've got the egg, the beaten egg, you just spread it over the top as a kind of glaze. If you haven't got a pastry brush, just use a fork and put it around.
Another.
There we are. So, do you want to finish doing them?
Of course
we'll get the tray ready.
Not too much on those eggs, or else they'll go crispy gold.
Okay.
And you want to be able to eat them, not preserve them for 5,000 million years.
Why would that be preserved then? You don't know.
I just thought that.
Oh, you just thought of that, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you then put your empanadas onto your, well, I think we'll stop with that. So, Kareem, tell me, what are you doing in school nowadays?
Nowadays I'm doing, my topic is how my garden grows.
Yes.
And I've been doing several homework tasks when I'm free, but it's really hard because I've got tons and tons of things to do.
No time to cook, hey? But
Yes, sometimes I do have some
You do have time to cook. Excellent.
when I'm with my mom.
Okay, we're going to put that into the oven now. Yes.
So, if Sylvia, you're watching. Hello, Mum.
Oh, well, a shout out there to them. Okay, so once you've got your empanadas ready, you're going to put them in the oven and put your timer on.
Maybe you can put the baking paper under the...
Oh, too late. If you want, you can put the parchment paper underneath into your tray. It's up to you. I haven't done that. That probably was a mistake. But hey ho, we'll see what happens.
And supposedly you've got tons of extra dough.
You
Make more darn empanadas.
You make some more empanadas. So, well, thank you very much, Kareem, for helping us with that. Come on, Kareem, give her a round of applause. Yeah. Whoop, come on. Off you go. Okay. So she'll come back later to
Hola, Mommy.
see you later.
180 degrees.
Oh, I thought, yes, we said at the beginning 180 degrees for 20 minutes. Okay? Right, we're now the other dishes we're going to make the rice, and we will use the stock from the chicken that you've got boiling on your pan for making the rice. And we're also going to make the beans, the black beans. But now we're going to prepare the ingredients that go with it. So if you get your chopping boards out, and Maya will come and help us with this. Maya, so let's get the chopping board. And, yeah, there it goes.
Lovely. All right.
Okay.
I'll get it chopping
So
board
chopping
then.
boards, knife, everybody, and we'll help you with the preparing. There it goes. Okay, so what are we cutting up?
So for the beans, first of all, we need to cut some chorizo, some onion, and some chili. So if we do that
Yes,
first,
yes.
will that be okay?
So the chorizo, if all of you have your piece of chorizo. So chorizo, the cuisine in Mexico very much reflects a combination of indigenous ingredients or indigenous ways of cooking, as well as the Spanish influence. The Spanish, as you know, colonized large part of South America, including Mexico, and from about the early 16th century. And so there's a lot of Spanish influence in the cuisine.
Yep.
And chorizo represents one of those.
Yep, so we get that from Spain. You can just get a spicy chorizo or a normal chorizo.
Now, some of you, I think, are vegan or don't eat pork. So you can use the halal sausages, or you've got
Soya chorizo, yeah.
soya chorizo. So the ingredients allow you to use any of those three. So, well, how are you going to do this?
So I try to cut them, I mean, you can cut them quite chunky if you want to, but I personally, when I eat my beans, I like them to be quite finely. So I do like to cut them finely. So yeah, I just cut them in like 4, slice them in 4.
Yes. So, are there any children around or helping as well with the cutting? I can see my friend Vincent there. Pancha, hi. Where are the other children in the windows? Well, so we're cutting up the chicken, the chorizo, then into small pieces.
Just little small.
And while you're cutting the chorizo, we're going to use chilies as well, aren't we?
Yeah, bird's eye
So
chilies.
chilies are very, very important in Mexican cuisine. There's so many different varieties of chilies in Mexico. It's one of the most important ingredients. As I said, it's one of the trinity of foods in Mexico that's used in all sorts of parts of the cuisine. So you can get quite a lot of chilies here, but you import from Mexico as well.
Yeah, we do try. There's fabulous websites, or sometimes my grandparents, they send us the dried chilies that we can't get. But for practicality, bird's eye chilies would go.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point about getting chilies and getting product from overseas, of course, is the air miles. We've got to be very careful nowadays about climate change, the carbon footprint of any food we cook. So if you can't get the original chilies, you can't get the authentic chilies, which I'm sure Mexicans really want, you can have an equivalent and use different chilies that you get in the UK.
Yeah.
And they all are of different types of pungency. So some are very strong, some are less strong. So you can choose the chilies to suit your taste. And don't forget, with chilies, it is the seeds which are crucially important in terms of giving you this hotness. So if you want a very mild taste, you can remove the seeds and just use the outer part of it. Okay. So different types of chilies. So we've got the chorizo already chopped up there.
Yep, just a little.
How's everybody doing with the chopping up of chorizo? Yes? Thumbs up if you've done? Yes, quite a few people have done it already. What's next?
All right, so after that, I usually like to do the onion and whatever. I like to chop the chilies at last because they're spicy, and otherwise everything gets spicy and messy. So I'm gonna just.
So we're going to peel the onion.
Peel the onion.
Now we've got a rather large onion here. You can use a smaller one. You tend to use the red onions, the brown onions rather.
Yeah.
Yes, red onions not necessarily. I think it's always brown onions.
Yeah, I mean you could just do it like that, but traditionally brown.
Again, it's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
So some people like milder flavored onions. So you can use red onions if you like. You can use shallots, or you can use the brown onions.
Yeah.
Now again, onions and garlic are the result of the Spanish influence, the Spanish colonization. So they came as part of the cuisine of the Spanish, and then gradually got incorporated into the cuisine of Mexico.
Lovely.
So here we are. Now you cut the onion up down the middle,
and then just very fine.
and then you chop it very fine.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
And then try not to cry too much.
Yes, if you start crying with the onions, there's not much we can do. Yes?
Well, apparently my grandma says that it's good that you cry with onions because that cleanses your eyes. So
Oh, well, there we are then.
maybe it's not a bad thing.
We're cutting the onions now. Yes, I can see everybody chopping onions there. Right. Okay.
There we go.
So we've got a chopped onion, and then finally You're going to be chopping the chilies.
Yeah, I think we don't need that other half, so
Okay.
I'm just going to leave it there.
Right.
Cool. With the chilies, this one's the bird eye. They are quite spicy, so I'm just going to do 2 so everyone here can try them. But
again, you can decide how many chilies you want to put. You can put 1, you can put 2, you can put 5, and they're cut very small. So if you can show how, can you see how the chilies are being cut at the moment?
so I'm trying to do just very,
They're very finely chopped.
yeah.
So you don't get a big chunk of chili in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the seeds here, but you could always
Yeah.
take them out
Take
if you
out
wanted.
the seeds.
There it goes.
How's everybody doing with the chilies?
Cool.
Okay.
Good. Cool.
So that's
all
all the
sorted.
preparation there. So
Yeah.
in the meantime, maybe you want to check your chicken is simmering nicely and your timer's on. The empanadas are in the oven at 180 degrees. And we'll say goodbye to Maya for the moment and you'll be back in a little while, won't you?
I'll see you in a little bit.
So let's have Rodolfo back. Hello.
Hello, Stella.
Hi.
How are you?
Now we've got chopped chorizo,
Yes, that's right.
chopped
Brilliant.
onions, and we've got the chilies.
Excellent. So,
Yes? Now, just before we do that, we have made some guacamole in advance because there isn't enough time to make everything. So that will be something that is served later on. But guacamole is a type of mole.
No. Guacamole is just about avocados, and then mix it with some. Well, there are plenty of recipes, but the recipe of my family is some tomatoes, some onions, coriander, and then as well we put some chilies and then salt, and then it's really important if you can add the juice of a lime, because in that way the avocado will not be oxidated.
It will not become brown.
It will not
retain
become
its
brown.
color.
So if you're having a party and then you wanted that your avocado is not looking in a bad condition, add some lime, and that will help so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've made that in advance, and you could,
Yeah.
you know, that's to be added to the meal later on. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Now we're going with the rice.
yes, so we're going to start cooking the rice. So first of all, you need to wash the rice.
Yeah. Well, the first that we're gonna do with the rice is we're gonna put some water on your kettles. Please take that water on your kettle.
If you fill your kettle with some water,
With some water, yeah, that's right. And then this is the recipe of my grandmother. My grandmother shows me how to make rice
when you were a small boy,
when I was maybe around 13 years old, something
Okay.
like that. So
is that quite common for young boys to learn to cook?
no, well, in Mexico, no. To be honest, in Mexico is not so common. The guys are cooking. Nowadays, it starts to be more common. But for example, in my case, in my family, my grandfathers cook all the time. So it's something that we have been done for many years.
That's really good. So,
Yeah, that's good.
so rice again was not one of the traditional ingredients in Mexican cooking. Corn was used as the main ingredient. Rice was introduced much later, and I believe came with the Spanish as well, as
Yes,
part of the
yes,
colonial enterprise, if you like.
Yeah.
So we're using ordinary rice here.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's a cup of rice. So I'm using the basmati rice that I found on here. Is because the way that I'm cooking that is the way that I found is the more similar to the rice that is sold in Mexico. So in Mexico we call it Morelos rice, but it's basically the same. So I'm just gonna put the hot water.
So if you get your kettle of water to be added to your pan of water,
And then
how much water are you putting?
I'm putting 1 cup of water. Basically, you need to check that your rice is covered with water. And then I'm just gonna leave the rice on there around maybe a minute. That will make that the rice take it out all the
Starch.
all the starch, exactly. So
So this is only a question of soaking the rice at the moment. We're just soaking the rice for about a minute to remove some of the starch that's in the rice.
that's right.
And then it will be drained away. Yes?
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So then for our rice, we're gonna need I'm just gonna use 3 tomatoes, 3 small tomatoes, a garlic, And as well, I'm gonna use some salt. And then basically take care, when you boiling your chicken, please don't throw out the water, because at the end, the water we're gonna use for the rice.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in that way, don't take out the water. And then if you don't have a blender machine, we're gonna use on this time a blender machine because it's easier. But if you don't have a blender machine, just chop your onions really,
Tomatoes, you mean?
use tomatoes in a really
Small.
small part.
Small.
But just to make it easier, if you have a blender machine, or if you don't have this kind that is used for the babies, for make the food babies, the stick blender,
The stick
exactly. You can
blender.
use one
Yeah.
of them. So I'm just going to make a little bit jump and then jump in the blender machine.
You're going to make it jump in the blender machine. For those of you who don't have a blender machine, please feel free to chop it up as small as you want, okay? So, we're going to be cooking the rice and showing you how to cook the rice in a minute. So, the other thing we're going to cook alongside in a separate pan are the beans.
I just forgot to say that we're going to add as well as some onion in the...
We have got onions here.
And yeah, but this is for the chorizo.
Oh.
The onion for the rice. So I'm going to blend as well. I'm going to put some
He's
onion.
going to put a bit of onion into the rice. So when you put the tomatoes in the blender, you can add the onion as well. Or if you're chopping it small, just chop both of them small enough. Okay.
I'm
So
going to do a bit noisy.
it's going to be a bit noisy. Oh dear.
Mo-
Okay. Ah. Okay.
Okay.
I think you have to stop. Right.
Okay, we got it. So that's fine.
Okay.
So it's just to make it
So
fun.
we need a pan, couple
Yeah,
of pans
yeah.
now. So if
I
you bring
think-
your pans.
We're going to use this pan and then...
So you need to have a fairly deep frying pan for the
rice.
rice. You can use an ordinary pan if you like, if you haven't got anything deep. But if you've got something like this, is one thing you can use. And
Yeah,
there'll be
it's-
another one for the
For the chorizo, yes. But let me gonna start with the
rice.
rice. So basically, on here, we're gonna use a little bit of oil. It's gonna be a quantity that looks at this too much, but don't be worried because we're just gonna throw out all the oil once the rice is properly fried. So the quantity that I will use is a half of cup of oil.
Right.
Is
When
it-
we went to a run through of this, I was appalled because I don't use a lot of oil myself, but Rudolfo shows me that a lot of it will be drained out later.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's really just to do a bit of frying. If you want to use less, you can. So it's not essential. And what
Yeah.
kind of oil are you using?
I'm using now olive oil. You can use normal sunflower oil. It's okay. But I like, for example, in my olive oil, all the time I put some garlics.
Okay.
Some garlics, and then I'm adding by the time I'm putting some adding the oil, and then the way that you will know that you're gonna put like maybe in the half flame your oil, and the way that you will know the oil is in the proper temperature to add the rice is you're just gonna cut a small piece of onion, and then you're gonna throw in the oil, as well with some garlic, because it's gonna give you some smell in the oil. So my grandmother used to put the onion and the garlic because it says the oil will take the flavor of the onion, and then you will see. I don't know if we can put the camera, and then we will see how is the color of the onion and the garlic, and then when they have the color like a caramelized, a little bit brown, is the time to put the rice. So just now what I'm gonna do is, remember our rice was in the pot with hot water, and then I'm just gonna use.
Okay, so he's going to drain the rice. If you've got a colander, you
Yeah.
can drain it.
I'm gonna use this
sieve.
one,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna drain all the rice,
All the water
all the water
from
out.
the rice. So while your onion and garlic is in the pan, giving you an idea about the temperature of the oil, you can drain the water out of the rice so that
Just,
you will be ready with it.
yeah, I'm just gonna take the flame a little bit down because this flame is too
It's too big for
strong.
you. Okay.
And then,
Now, are you going to remove the onion and the garlic?
yes, remove the onion and the garlic before it starts to be really
Brown.
overcooked.
Because
So
when onion burns, it gives a very bitter taste to the food. So take off the onion and the garlic from the oil.
yes, you look, it will be, look how it's taking the color, the garlic, and then let's see how is our onion.
Yes,
And
that's
the other side starts to be looking properly. Yeah, I like so.
okay. So we can take them out now.
Well, no, I think I'm gonna leave it a little bit more.
A little bit
Just a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. In that time, remember your rice is taking out the water, so please.
Try-
It's gonna be the next tricky part, because once we add the rice in the oil, as the oil is boiling, we need to add the rice really quickly. So don't do in small portions. We're just gonna throw all the rice in the oil. That's fine.
Okay. How's everybody doing? Have you managed to wash the rice, to drain the rice? Yes.
All the
And
people is
this
following us.
onion and garlic. Yes, I can see some thumbs up. Any questions so far? Yeah. Okay. Any questions?
So
I think you've managed to answer all the questions as we go along.
Okay, thank you, but feel free. Now, before we put the rice, if your timer has gone for the empanadas, now is the time to get them out. And I believe our timer's gone, so we're going to get the empanadas out. Oh, right.
that looks
So
good.
it looks like we've got a little bit of the filling has come through, but who cares, right? So you can get your empanadas out of the oven. Okay? Right.
I'm just gonna turn off the.
And now we can, we can turn the oven off.
That's
And now
fine.
we're going to go back to
To the rice. So-
Everybody with us? Ah, somebody's showing me the empanadas.
Oh, that's lovely.
Fantastic
Look
big
those
ones
empanadas.
That's Marina's empanada. Was that
Oh.
Vincent who did? How many children have been making the empanadas? I can see one hand there. Yes, great. Okay, empanadas done. Ready for the rice. Yep.
Do we leave the onion and the garlic in the oil?
No, take it out, please.
Take it out as soon as it has turned a brown color. You need to take it out.
Yep.
It's only to flavor the oil, but also to give you an indication of the temperature of the oil that we need for cooking the rice.
Yeah, exactly.
I should say I'm not Mexican, I'm from India, but I've been learning all these tricks of the trade
Yeah.
by talking to
Yeah.
Rodolfo.
Yeah, that's
right?
fine.
So-
and then this step is we need to do quickly. Don't do with panic because the oil gonna be starting to fly everywhere. So we're gonna add quickly we add the rice, and then this is the most important thing, because in the rice it takes different consistency when it's in the oil. So basically, at the beginning, you will see that the rice is sticky. It's not easy to move through the pan. So feel with your hand, Stella. Let me, how you feel the
Yes,
rice?
it is. It's quite
It's
thicker.
strong, you know.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna put half flame, and then we're gonna start to move our rice friendly, really nice. We're gonna care our rice because it's our baby, remember. So, and then
While you're doing that, I'm just conscious that if the 20 minutes for the chicken should have been up as well, because more or less the same time as the empanada. So if somebody is mixing the rice in the oil, somebody else can take the pan off the hob and take the chicken out of the hot water and leave it to cool on a plate.
So and then we will see the rice will take different times. One of the time is when it's sticky, now it's still sticky. And then you can see how the rices are between each others, and then they have like some distance between each others. And then it came some point where the rice start to be really soft, really soft.
Yeah.
And then you will see that the color of the rice will change from white to a little bit brown.
Yeah.
So, but I will like to show you the process, because we need more time on this rice, more time on the oil, because it's still being sticky. It's not easy to move with your spoon. You will feel at the end how it will start to be so more easy to move through your pan.
So really the idea is to get the rice to be separated, the grains to be separated eventually. So the idea of moving it about in the oil, in the hot oil, is to ensure that you have separate grains of rice.
Yes.
Yes?
So now you will see, I'm going to increment a little bit the flame, so you will see how the rice starts to be more easy to move through your pan.
How's everybody doing with the rice? Yes, I can see people showing me their rice. You can see pictures of people with rice. Okay.
So you can see how now the rice starts to be a little bit like pinky color on the rices. Yes. So now it's so much more easy to move through the pan. Look how it's more easy.
So the grains of rice have been coated in oil, hot oil. They've begun to separate now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes? That's what you're aiming for.
So now I think we are almost ready. I just want to give you a little bit more minute, because if not, it's not gonna. Look how the color is now. Look how now the rice is friendly moving to the pan.
Have you got friendly rice, everybody? Yes?
I hope your rice is not grumpy.
Happy rice, yes. We want happy, friendly
we have
rice.
happy, friendly rice. So now it's done.
It's done.
And then I'm just going to put the less flame. And then I'm using
All right, wait a minute. So if your rice is now separated, all the grains, they're lightly brown. Turn off the gas, or turn off the heat. And now we're going to drain the oil.
All the oil.
From the rice. So
exactly.
If you go back to your sieve, your colander, and you drain the oil.
Yeah, I'm going to drain all the oil. All the oil. I'm going to drain all the oil.
Is that a bit heavy?
Oh, that's fine.
You're fine? You're a strong man, aren't you?
Oh, no. Not so much.
Not so much?
Not so much.
Okay.
And then, so we're going to leave the less flame. We're going to take this one out.
Right. Okay.
And then it's time to add the tomato chopped.
Okay.
So
while your rice is in your pan now, the onions and the tomatoes that you chopped up small, or you put into your blender, you now add it to the rice.
Yeah. Remember, your rice is in the low flame now.
Okay. So if you turn the temperature down, yes?
Yeah. And then, this is the most important thing that my grandmother taught me. At this point, you're going to put the juice of half lime.
Or if you haven't got a lime, you can use a lemon.
Lemon or lime, this is the same.
It's the same.
But that's going to make a big difference. If the rice does not have the lime, it's going to be different flavor, but it's good as well.
Okay, so we've got the rice. Do you put any salt?
Yeah, I put salty when I was blending the tomato. I put salty. Sorry.
So if you didn't, if you haven't blended it, add the salt now.
Yeah, you can add the salt.
About a teaspoon of salt, depending on how.
Yes, that's depending. So now it needs to start to boil again. It likes now it's like a pasta, and then we're gonna add the water. You remember the water of your chicken?
So if you get your pan of, you've removed the chicken, so the pan, the stock in which you cook the chicken, we're now going to add that to the rice.
We're going to put this water in our rice. And then, remember, the water needs to be around 2 fingers above the place that is your rice. And then on here, we're going to make it to boiling again.
Yes, put the flame up.
Put the max flame until it is boiling. And then...
Okay, well...
My grandmother on this step used to add anything that you want. You can add some eggs. You can add, for example, these times we're gonna add the veggies.
So if you've got any vegetables that you want to add to that, you can add. But you can add other things like the last time I tried this, the first time I tried this, you added mussels, didn't you?
Mussels, yes,
You
as
can
well.
use mussels, you can use leftover bits of, meat.
Yeah, exactly.
You can use quite a lot of ingredients that you might have lying around in your cupboards or lying around in your fridge, leftovers. So it's a very good way to incorporate and not waste any
Exactly,
food.
that's
Good.
fine. So once it is gonna be boiling, we're just gonna
Cover it.
cover it, and then it's going to the less flame that you have in your kitchen. The less flame. We're
So
just gonna put on this.
This is then going to be put on simmer. So once it has come to the boil, turn the heat down and let it simmer. We are going to move this to the back of the hob at the back because we've only got two burners here in front. So we're going to take that and put it back and let it cook.
So, now you can see now it's boiling.
Yeah.
The water is boiling, and then we're just gonna put in the really low, the less flame that you have in your kitchen.
All right.
And then
so
we're gonna leave there around 20 minutes.
how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing with that? Okay. I'm conscious that everybody's getting very hungry, I'm sure, and we need to get going now with the next dish, which is the beans. You call it refried beans, but you're not really refrying the beans.
No, it's...
No, it's just a term that they seem to have used. So let's get another pan on to the hob. So if you get your next pan ready for the for the beans. Okay. Okay.
So that's fine. So then we're gonna add. This is really easy to do, to be honest.
Okay. So if you add, so we put the chorizo.
We're gonna put the chorizo, everything gonna be at the same
So
time.
the prep that we've done so far with the chorizo, the onion, and the chilies, we're now going to put into the pan.
Put in the pan, yeah.
You don't need to add any oil because chorizo
Has a lot of
fat.
It's enough fat on the chorizo, so it's not needed to have.
So while that's cooking, yes, put this on the flame and leave it. There's not much more we can do with that for the moment.
Yeah,
you can get your tin of, open your tin of
exactly.
bean.
And then once we're gonna leave the onions as well coming to be to the state that is like a caramelized. So we're just gonna give some time on this one. So
Okay, so while that's happening now, so while the chorizo is cooking, we can start preparing the chicken, the tinga, which was...
what Amaya is trying to do.
Yeah, the tinga with the chicken that was cooling down. So Rodolfo is going to move out for a few minutes. So, and now we're going to be ready for the tinga. So we've got the chicken.
I'm just going to shred it. You could, use two knives, but I personally find it easier.
Yes.
Just with my fingers.
Yep. Or you can take your fork, two forks, and just shred it, basically.
Like that, yeah.
You're just cutting into small pieces.
Yeah. I do tend to find that the more you boil the chicken, the easier it is to shred. Obviously, it loses more proteins, but if you're a bit lazy like me, it's quite a good technique.
Well, I've done this with beef as well, and pork, so you can do it with different things. We're using chicken here. Chicken, again, was not one of the indigenous animals in Mexico. It was introduced much later. So I think turkey and was quite common, duck as well. But indeed, the earlier diet of the people in Mexico, of the indigenous people, it had very little meat in it.
Yeah.
It was mainly a vegetarian-based diet.
Yeah.
And with the colonization of Mexico, you got the introduction of different types of things. The meat, the onions. Oh, you're much faster than me with your fingers. There we are.
I'm just going to give this a little stir.
We've got a question coming.
You got a question, great.
Do we drain the beans?
Do we what?
Drain the beans.
Do we drain the beans? No, don't drain the beans yet. We're coming to the beans. Just keep making sure your chorizo and your onions are being stirred. Right, so what are you making now? You're
So
going
now I'm going to do the onions. However, before I did them in little cubes, now I'm going to do them more in long stripes. Just because since these ones are long, we cut the tomato in the
So
other
it's
like that.
getting the same texture. So long, thin strips, which will match your chicken. You're not dicing it this time. You remember, you diced it when you made the chorizo, but you don't need to dice it now.
And we do quite a bit of onion. It's really, you know, more onion than chicken. It does have a lot of onion, this dish.
So while you're cutting that, maybe I can ask Dad a little bit about your business. It's a business that both of you are running, is that right?
Yeah.
What made you start the business?
So we started, I think, in March of this year. It was an idea about my daughter, so she's starting to tell me that. So now the people, when we go into the parties, most of the people say, "Hey, why are you not selling this food?" And then we say, "Well, maybe we can try it."
Yeah.
So, and then the plan was to start to have a food trial, but the food trial
A
is
truck.
a food truck.
Take a truck around to festivals.
Yeah, exactly, but that's so expensive. So basically, we started selling Mexican food from home, and then we are now doing some setup that we now have some basic things that we're gonna use in our food truck, and then we're still trying to sell the food for take more money. In that way, we can have our food truck.
And that what you're cooking at home is quite a lot of the things we're cooking here as well. And you will be able to order them. In the chat, we'll give you the details of the website. So if somebody else is cutting the onions, if you go back to your onions and chorizo and chili mix.
Yeah, you see how the onions are caramelized.
Yes.
Really, that's really nice.
Everybody see that? Okay, so now you're ready to add the beans.
The beans. We have two options with the beans. If you want, you can blend on your blender machine, but if you don't have blender machine, you will just gonna add the beans.
Yeah.
And then I will add the chili. Sorry.
So it's making us cough. Is it making you cough as well?
Yeah, the chili is coughing.
I mean,
And then,
you can use tin beans. I tend never to use tins. I make my own version of the beans using a pressure cooker and using dried beans.
Yeah.
But this is easy.
and then I'm just gonna add the half of the can of water.
Water, okay. So keep stirring your chorizo.
Yeah,
bean.
exactly.
Add the water.
And
And
then, if
that's
you
it.
have at home, how you call it in English, the smashed potato?
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed
The mashed potato masher?
Potato masher.
Yeah.
Do we have
No.
potato
What
masher
are you
on
going
here?
to do?
Bottom drawer.
Ah, right.
Quick.
You got a. Oh, you've got one. I can see somebody in the this has found the potato masher at home. Brilliant. That's excellent.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
You
And
just.
then we're just gonna press our beans until they started to be like a paste. So I'm gonna increase a little bit the
So
flame.
not too much, but you are sort of matching them down. That's the point,
Yeah.
right? While it's cooking with the chorizo and the onion and the chili.
Just really quickly, the tomato, I am also chopping it in big thin slices. Everything's going in slices for the chicken tinga.
For the chicken tingas. So if somebody else at home is prepping, you've done the onions already, you've shredded the chicken, and you're chopping up the tomatoes.
And then I'm gonna add a little bit salty because those beans that I bought from can, they don't have any salt. So maybe I will add some salty, but the salt is on your preference.
Yes. Now tell me, do you ever add chocolate, cocoa powder? Because cacao is a very much an indigenous product of
Yep.
for Mexico.
Yeah, definitely.
From the cacao seeds. We know it as chocolate in the West because after Portuguese colonization, there was a great interest in chocolate. It started being developed as a sweet product, and indeed the slave trade, people from Africa were brought across to help with the cultivation of cacao. So, but in traditional cooking, it is not the sweet variety that's used. It's the cacao powder from the original cacao. It was also food of the gods. It was also
Yeah.
a drink.
Yeah.
So really important. It was also used as currency
Yep.
at one time.
Yeah. At some point, it was a
A
currency.
currency and also used in weddings. So when
Yep.
couples got married
As
in
a
the Maya
present.
tradition,
Lovely.
you gave 5 grains of cacao
Well,
to
I'm
the
learning,
wife.
I'm learning something new there.
Yeah, right, and 5 grains the man gave it to her. You know, this is kind of, okay, I'm going to take you as my husband and my wife, and there was an exchange of cacao.
I think that's a bit cheaper than buying a ring nowadays.
Well, I suppose, yes, but so it has such an importance, significance in
Yeah.
the country. And indeed, the mole that you make,
Yeah, the mole.
mole poblano. Moles are very popular sauces used a lot in Mexico.
Yeah.
So tell us about mole
About
poblano.
mole. Mole poblano is a dish, it's a recipe that for me is really tricky to put in our menu because it's something that you can hate or you can love it.
Like Marmite.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
Because, for example, it's a food that is sweet, salty, and spicy.
Okay.
All at the same time. All is a massive flavor and that. So I love mole, but I have some experience with people from England. The people that like it love it, but the people that doesn't like it say, "Oh, because it's true."
But there are many different types, and the one that's very popular, the one we've just mentioned,
Poblano,
is the
yeah.
poblano, which is made with cacao powder, with chilies,
Exactly.
and some salt.
And that is more sweety because if you're talking about the mole de oaxaqueño, the mole oaxaqueño is more salty and the poblano is really sweet. So it's the difference between one part of the country and one other part. Of the
Okay,
country.
and you can use it to serve chicken, you can use it to serve meat, different types of
Yeah,
meat. Yeah.
we put turkey, we put pork, we put beef, no? We put
Yeah.
chicken, and
Okay.
yeah, that's fine. So,
And if you can put it on your tofu as well, I believe. I've not tried that, but that's an interesting. For those of you who are vegetarian, you can use that.
and then now you can see now the beans are now like a paste.
Yes.
Are more like a paste. So I think I'm just gonna leave a
So-
little bit more.
Okay, so we're going to let it simmer,
Mm-hmm.
and while that's simmering, we're going to get ready to make the tinga. So let's
We've just had one other question.
another question. Good.
How many tomatoes for the
Well,
chicken?
that is a very interesting question. I did 4, but I overdid
I would put more.
Tomatoes a bit more.
Yep.
Oh, well,
Oh,
a
Yep.
bit more then.
well.
A bit more.
So it's very much a question of taste, but quite a lot of tomatoes. So I'm aware that we're also conscious of time now. So
Yeah.
we've got about half an hour to make sure we eat this as well as cooking it. So we've got.
I'm just gonna take out the beans from the. They are ready.
If you've got a 4-burner cooker at home, just put it on the back hob. We've only got 2, so it's going at the back.
Just really quickly, if you are like vegetarian or vegan, you can use young tin jackfruit instead of the chicken, and it's amazing. It
Yes.
tastes just the same. So yeah.
Very
that.
popular jackfruit. Right, so if we get to the next pan, we're now going to get the tinga ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the tinga, I'm gonna add 3 spoons. And maybe Estela will kill me because
Yes, too much oil. I don't think he's heard of lean cuisine. You know, it's all this oil, that glugs of oil that go in. But anyway, you make it your style.
Yeah.
You can adapt it at home to have less. That's
Yeah,
all
you can
right.
put less.
You can put less oil in this.
Uh,
So again, you're using olive oil, but you could use any other type of
you
oil.
can, yeah.
I mean,
not
really,
sunflower
in
oil.
Mexico, frying is not a very popular way of cooking. I mean, deep fried. Of course, you will get some of it. But here we're putting about 3 dessert spoons.
You can put less if you
You can
want
put
to.
less of oil in your pan. So let your oil warm up.
Yeah, let's the oil warm up.
Okay.
And then the first that I'm gonna add is the onion. The onion, because I want that the onions be caramelized. So it's the first that I'm gonna add the onions.
Okay, so if you
definitely.
add your onions to that,
It's
plenty
of onion
yes, it certainly is a lot of onions here.
and the
Okay.
garlic as well. Yeah, of
Right.
course. I forgot the garlic. I was
You
forgetting
forgot the garlic. Okay.
Just gonna chop the garlic.
Yes.
The-
Again, amount of garlic you add is up to you according to taste.
Normally we used to put one
One clove.
clove.
1 clove or 1 piece?
One piece.
Okay,
No,
one
no, no. Just one.
Okay. One of those.
One of these ones.
Okay.
So
Right.
just one, because more than that, it's gonna be really a
Too
strong
much.
flavor.
Too much of a strong flavor.
Yeah.
So you've
just
added
gonna-
your onions to the pan, and we're getting ready now to caramelize them.
Yeah, that's fine. We're just gonna put.
Okay. So while your onions are cooking,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to show us about your tortilla machine? He's got a special
Yeah.
machine, and maybe we'll show you a couple of pictures of
Yeah.
the tortillas back in Mexico.
So basically, the tortillas in Mexico are made with corn flour. So I have here an example about the corn flour.
Well,
And then-
I thought it was the corn, the maize corn that is boiled and made into a... Yeah, a flour.
Yeah, it has a massive process before do the
Okay.
to get the flour. And then our tortilla machine, I think, is the most spectacular thing that we have, because the Mexican food is based with tortilla. So
So it's a very important ingredient, very important component of all Mexican food, the tortilla, traditionally made with corn, although as we say, you
Yeah.
can also make it with wheat.
we will not do here because it's a lot of time
A lot of time,
consuming.
yes.
And then you can use normal tortillas that you can find on every store. You can use
Yes.
the normal tortillas that you can use
You
for
can
the
buy in the shop,
In the
and
shop,
in
yeah.
Mexico as well nowadays. There are many shops that just make tortillas, as I think we've just shown you.
Yeah, so basically, I don't have a pan on here, but I just want to show you. So how this machine
So this is
is
a machine. Can you buy this here?
yeah, you can buy on eBay,
Oh, on eBay, right.
and then it's imported from Mexico. So,
Right, okay.
so then it makes the tortilla, and then normally we put in a pan that is really hot, and then it takes 3 times. So at the beginning you put one chance, then one is cooked from the other side, another side, and then in the third one the tortilla needs to inflate.
Okay.
So-
So it needs to rise up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is quite a complicated process, which is why most people nowadays in Mexico, originally women would gather together and make the tortillas with their hand. But nowadays you can buy them in the shops and
Every single corner.
every
Stella.
single corner.
So,
right.
so-
And here we buy it in Tesco.
So it's most important. It's the most important thing in the Mexican food, the tortilla.
Right.
So every single corner there is a store that you can find recently fresh made, and you know the machines are amazing, are so
yes,
big.
I think we're showing a picture of that, the machine. So what we...
I'm gonna add the chicken.
So your onions are slightly brown now. We're adding the chicken to it.
Yep,
And?
exactly. I'm gonna add the chicken, and then I'm gonna leave the chicken fry a little bit with the onions.
A good stir then. A good stir of the chicken.
Yeah, that's fine.
How's everybody doing? Are you managing? Yep, I can see people mixing. Well done. Yep. Okay.
So happy to see some friends.
So while your chicken's cooking there,
And then I think just gonna leave, because you know the chicken, if we fry a little bit the chicken, it's gonna have some different flavor than
Okay.
if we just throw everything there. That's fine.
okay,
So now I'm gonna add the tomatoes.
right?
The
So
tomatoes.
all your chopped tomatoes,
Yes.
tomatoes.
Tomatoes, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Well,
Another-
in Mexico we call this one jitomate.
Okay.
And then the tomato for us is something similar to this one, but it's green.
Ah, yes, green tomatoes.
It's green
Yes.
tomato. So for in my house, we used, when the house of my father and my mother, tomatoes are the green ones,
Ah,
and heat tomato
yeah.
is
it's a
this
red
one.
Okay. So there we have it. Different types of tomatoes that you use. And so what you've got with your chicken is the onions, the chicken, shredded chicken, and now you've added the tomatoes, and you had put in a little bit of garlic. You put any chili?
You know, well, you can
You
put
can put
chili
chili.
if you wanted. So, and then
We
what
turn
we-
down the heat.
Yeah, no, we're gonna calm down the heat, and then I'm gonna add one bay leaf.
Right.
2 is for me. 2 bay leaves is a lot of flavor. I just prefer just one. For this quantity, I think just 1 bay leaf. And then we're gonna turn the heating a little bit down. And then we can put in the background, Stella, or?
No, we can, well, we're going to, while this is simmering, we're going to start preparing the drinks. Now, all of you wanted to have a taste of the drink that comes from Mexico. So let's get the alcohol. Yeah.
The teenager.
The teenager is going to make the drink. Right. Okay. No, you're not getting a bad name with this. So, let's get, what are we making? We're making margarita.
So we're making some margaritas. Yeah.
Right, everybody ready with their bottles of tequila?
Tequila.
So, yep, let's get your
Yeah.
bottle. Here's your tequila. Now, do you know what tequila is made from? So if you get your glasses and everything ready.
Yeah.
So tequila comes from the agave plant, and I think we're showing you a picture of this plant, which has got great big stalks. It's very carefully cultivated to make sure that each of the fronds, are properly ready. There's a certain amount of carbohydrates in it. They're plucked, they're put into big containers, they're fermented, the juice is extracted, and then the tequila is made from that. And there's very strict regulations about how tequila is made, how much alcohol content it should have in it. And usually tequila is blanco, white, but you can get an aged tequila which has been matured in containers. Be very careful though, sometimes you get inauthentic tequila where they color it with some other colorings. So what we've got, we're going to make a margarita. We're going to show you how to do that. And we need some salt, I believe.
Yep, we need some salt and a little bit of lime. Not for putting it in your hand, no. Just for the ring.
Okay. So where's our salt gone? We've just lost our salt?
I think we have lost our salt, you know.
We did have salt just
Oh, it's just here. It's been found.
So if you sprinkle some salt onto your board or onto a plate or something, so there's quite a bit of salt, cut your lime in the middle. So you've got a piece of lime like that.
Yep.
And here we go.
And then, so what you do is you just grab
your glass,
and then you make sure, so a bit of juice can go in, that's fine. It'll add to the flavour. And you can, right, I've seen some people do it, and they add a little bit of sugar there as well. It's not traditional Mexican, but some people find the salt to just be a little bit too much. So you can mix sugar and salt if you want to, like that's fine.
So what you're doing with your glass now, you're swirling it round in the salt so that the edge of the glass becomes coated with salt. That's the point.
And then we do the other one as well.
We're going to have two, are we? Oh, right.
God.
Oh, well, why not? Yes. Partners, you can keep stirring the chicken, the tinga. So we've got 2 glasses there. Now, what do? We add tequila to it.
After that, you add as much tequila as you want.
Why do we need this?
Oh, because you can do it 2 ways. You can add a little bit of the tequila there and then add the juice. You can do it with we have here some like mango and tropical juice, or you can use a bit more traditional, some 7-Up or something like that. But you can really go out there and, make like the strangest smoothie and just add tequila to it, and that would still be fine.
But traditionally, tequila is drunk neat.
Yes, it is.
Yes?
Neat, yeah.
And you probably heard, you probably don't agree with this, but people lick the back of their hand, put some salt over it, swirl their little this on to get the salt.
Hands behind your back
and then straight down the hatch. But we're going to add some tequila to the glass now. Yep. And now, the amount you add is entirely up to you. If you want a good swig, you can have quite a lot of tequila in there. And we're going to use mango juice, but you could use a different type of juice as well. Guava juice, very popular in Mexico. And we're now going to add
That was just a little bit.
What
too
happened
much.
there? Is there too much of tequila?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
we got to get back home, so probably
All right.
not that much.
Okay. Well, I'll have the rest of it.
Oh yeah,
I'm quite
that's true.
partial. And you add some mango juice.
Yeah,
do you?
so you can add the mango juice straight, or if it's a really nice hot day, what you could do is also, if you do have a blender, food processor or whatever, should I do it there or there?
No, I think we'll do it.
We'll just do that one.
Much
Okay, cool.
time actually.
Yeah,
So we'll just
so,
add.
but if you could make it into a smoothie frappe thing and add it, and then add the tequila afterwards. So it is really versatile. This one's going to be
So
with the juice.
how's everybody doing with that? We're not going to have only tequila. We've got just say the mango juice, and we've got a couple of other types of alcohol.
Yeah.
Rodolfo. He's forgotten about it.
Okay, well, so we have some Mexican beer. So,
And we've got some wine. Now, wine is not often used in Mexican, traditionally in Mexico. It is, however, being used now because a lot of tourists have come to Mexico, and they, of course, want to have wine with their meals. So, we think. Oops, this particular wine, a Pinot Grigio, goes very well with the meal. So you've got a choice then. You've got your margarita, you've got your wine, you've got your
Coronas?
the Corona beer. Again, beers traditionally made in Mexico from corn. I think this might have barley, I'm not sure. Barley was introduced by the Spanish. And then if you just want to have juice, you've got your juice itself.
Yeah, I do recommend using white tequila for the margaritas, just because I feel like the other one, the flavour just doesn't really go as well.
And we've got in the web, in the chat, you've got details of the place where you can buy this authentic tequila.
It's very, very nice. You won't be wanting to shot this one. You'll want to sip it slowly and enjoy it.
And savor it.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to plate up now, I believe. We're nearly ready to plate up.
yeah, I think the you know, your tinga gonna be.
Question?
Yep.
Sorry? Yes? So the chicken has just been simmering in the pan. Just give it a good old stir. Most of the liquid should have been absorbed by now.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. So the tomato.
They can't see you.
So, sorry. Now the tomatoes has taken out all the juices, and then you will see how in the pan we will start to have not enough water. So look now the consistency of the tomato. The tomato now is like has gone. So it's now when you have ready, when we're ready with that. So this thing is almost ready. I'm just gonna try a little bit. Needs a little bit salt.
Okay, a bit more salt.
Need a little bit salt.
Okay, so
Not too much.
okay, do you need lime? No.
No,
Okay,
just salt.
right.
And then with your rice, I think I'm just gonna try to see if the rice is ready.
Okay, so a little bit of extra salt if you need it. Whatever. So let's clean
I
up.
think it's fine.
Let's get our table ready here so we can show you when we plate up what it actually looks like.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one is okay. I'm just
Thank
gonna.
you very
This one is
Where are the
ready.
plates?
And then I'm just gonna put in the front again the rice Stella,
Okay, we're going
because
to
I
bring.
want to show you the people
Yes,
when the rice is ready.
Okay, so we.
So we're still having the less flame, and then we're just gonna take it out. This one, take care because it's gonna be heat. And then, as you can see, the rice is not ready. The water needs to go out. So at this moment, this rice needs a little bit more time.
So we need to turn it up a bit.
No, I will not turn not so much because.
Okay. Well, while your rice is cooking, let's hear a bit more about Mexicans in the UK. So
Yep.
there are a lot of Latin American people living in the UK, but the number of Mexicans is far less. About 250,000 Latin Americans, I believe, in the UK, and about 10,000 Mexicans.
Yeah.
A lot of the Mexicans, of course, are in the USA.
Yeah,
Yes?
definitely. So something that Donald Trump doesn't know is that there was more people living there than the people living in Mexico.
What? More Mexicans in...
Yeah, because now there is a lot of Mexico-American people that, their fathers came to live to the United States many, many years ago. After the Second World War, there was a program that was called Programa Bracero, that they was requesting people from Mexico to work there in the farms. So there is now a lot of people that by nationality they are Americans, but their fathers are Mexicans.
Yes. And their mothers.
And the mothers as well, yeah.
So the heritage is Mexican.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So we have populated all the country, but it's something that Trump just forgot.
Well, you know, there has been this tradition of bringing people to come and work
Yeah.
in the US when labor was required.
Yeah, exactly.
So of course there are a lot. And of course, as part of that, you will get, if you like, a different tradition of Mexican cuisine. Tex-Mex, for example, where there's been a kind of Americanization
Yeah,
of
exactly.
traditional cooking.
Yeah, definitely.
So you'll see, not even in England, you'll see, in Sheffield, Mexican street cuisine.
Yeah.
Yes, and you get a lot of that. And of course, tortillas are used. Traditionally, as I said, tortillas made with corn, but they're also now made with wheat.
Yeah.
And what about tacos? What are tacos?
Yeah, well, the taco is the main thing that you eat in Mexico. So every time we put in over a tortilla, and then we call taco about everything. So if you put chicken, if you put rice, if you put eggs, you can put anything that you like, and then it's called a taco.
It's called a taco. So we've got tacos, then you've got tamales.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
what are tamales?
The tamales uses the same flour, similar flour, and then it is the flour with some sauces and chicken. It can be chicken, pork, or some other things, and then it's involved in the leaves of the corn.
Yes.
And then you can put then it is in a Maria, Baño Maria. How you say Baño Maria?
Bain Marie.
Bain Marie, exactly. And then after 2-3 hours of cooking, it's ready. Yes.
So basically, tamales are steamed. Yes. So
The hob at the back is on still.
Yep.
okay. So
Sorry.
the tamales are steamed. The tacos, the tortillas are not steamed. They are cooked very
They are
quickly
cooked, exactly.
on a dry pan.
Exactly,
yes?
on a dry pan.
What about enchiladas?
Enchiladas, well, the enchiladas has a tortilla.
Okay.
So it's a tortilla that you fill with chicken, and then you put over that some tomato salsa or heat tomato sauce.
Right.
It's a little bit spicy. You can put some cream, some cheese, some onions, some coriander as well. It's different type of enchiladas. We have plenty type of enchiladas, green ones, red ones, enmoladas. That is with mole. You remember
Yes.
we was talking about the mole.
Yeah, yes.
So there are plenty type of.
And what about, so we need to just check that
Yeah,
rice,
we need to
right?
check the rice.
The mole, so if you just watch your rice, it should be getting pretty dry now.
Yeah, the water needs to. The water needs to go out.
So the water needs to be drying up. So
when you put the spoon, you need to see
if there's any water left
you
in
need
the
to see
pan.
that is any water left in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you can keep it half, so the water can evaporate. Yes.
Yeah.
You can remove it a bit, half
Yeah,
covered?
a little bit. Yeah.
half covered to help with
Just
that.
well,
No.
if you get time in Mexico, if you get time at home,
They need a lot of time for cooking. Yeah.
because if not, I need to check if the rice
He's
is
got
ready.
to check the rice is properly cooked. There's no rushing the man.
Okay,
Great.
Yeah,
We've
good.
got a couple more questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
So, asking, what about the salsa?
The
All
salsa.
right,
Ah,
so-
yeah. We was tricky with the salsa because the salsa has been made from home.
And where is it? You left it at home.
I've got the salsa.
Oh, it's coming. The salsa's coming by special express. Home is
So-
actually all the way in Beaune near Peterborough. But
Yeah.
we have the salsa. So tell us how the salsa make. Have you got a bowl for the salsa?
Yeah. Well, the way that we prepare the salsa is we just put some tomatoes in a dry pan, and then the tomatoes needs to be cooked until it's dark, really dark, and then you cook your tomato in all the areas. No, that it's gonna be.
Oh, you put the full tomato. You
Full
don't chop
tomato.
it.
No, chop it. The full tomato you put in a dry pan, and then you will see how it's burned.
Right.
Once your tomato is totally burned from all the areas, you can smash with a fork, and then with some you need to add onion, garlic, and salt and chilies, or you can put in the blender machine That's this.
That's your salsa.
Yes.
So salsa is basically a kind of sauce that's being used at. So as we said, because there wasn't enough time in this program, indeed, we've taken quite a lot of time already, we've made that in advance, the guacamole and
The salt.
the salt. So we're going to be getting ready to plate up. So if you've got your tortillas with you, have a drink of, let's have some alcohol. Why are we should
Well, do you want a beer?
yes, I'll have a beer. Why not? You can have a margarita. Don't we have a glass? Is that traditional to drink from the bottle?
Well, to be honest, I drink the beer in the bottle.
Yeah. I thought you normally put a slice.
Sorry.
Yes, or salud.
Cheers. Salud.
Salud. Ah, this is what you say in Mexico. Salud. Viva Mexico. Right.
Salud, everybody.
Don't you cut a slice and put it in there?
Well, I'm gonna tell you a quick story about
Okay.
the lime. The lime in this beer it started to be frequently in United States.
Ah.
In the north of the country. And then the owner of the brand Corona, somebody tell to the owner, hey, the beer, now they are adding lime in the north of the country. And then he was like, how they putting lime on my beer?
Ah.
And then, but the managers tell him, don't worry, our sellings has been increased 200% after the people is adding the lime in the beer. So now it's a tradition to have a lime in a Corona beer. But the owner of the brand at the beginning said, oh, somebody is ruining my beer.
Is it Americanization? So this is the thing. Things get changed. So you've got a book to show us while
We have the anti-racism book.
In the chat, I think you're putting the details of the book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here you can find the recipe of the frijoles con chorizo. We are
Of the beans?
Of the beans, yeah. We are here. It's okay. So this is me. Oh, I don't know. We can
see.
Okay. So basically, this book has a really nice history because each recipe is something that is important in your life, and then the recipes on this book are made
Many different countries.
Many different countries. Yeah, but we're gonna leave the link in the chat. Because we are running a little bit
of
time.
You can get the tequila. You've got wine. How are we doing with the rice? Is it
I
done?
think. Look, can we see how now the rice is dry? Now the pan is dry. If you put the spoon, it's dry. So your rice is ready.
Okay, so we're going to plate up now. So how's everybody doing? Is your food ready? Ready to eat? You've got your drinks. You've got, we've got some tortillas made in advance. So here they are in the pan. You'll have some at home.
I'm going to join you now.
These are rather small, but you will have some larger ones from the shop.
Yeah.
So, who's plating up? You're plating up?
I'll plate
Am I?
up.
Okay.
Yeah. So, really easy. Just grab your tortilla and...
I'm just gonna reheat a little bit the tortilla. Well,
oh, it's fine. Just
it's fine.
So, a bit of chicken into your tortilla.
Yeah, a little bit of chicken. Now you can put
some rice,
the
definitely.
rice and the beans in there. I think my dad would do that. Personally, I like having my rice and my beans on the side because then I can just really enjoy the chicken as it is. Then I add some salsa. I am gonna literally add the smallest amount because even though I'm Mexican, I don't eat too spicy.
Fake Mexican.
Oh, you can't be a proper Mexican.
They might
if you don't
take
know.
my passport. They might take my passport.
Absolutely.
And then, as with everything in Mexico, a squeeze of lime is
Yes.
fundamental. Maybe one lime with juice.
Do you add the guacamole to it?
Yeah. You can add what? Well, you can have it without, or you can have
I
guacamole
do it
to
with mine,
everything.
actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have this for you, Stella.
Oh, right.
It has a drops of salsa, but that's fine.
You what?
It has a little bit of salsa.
Oh, well, that's
so-
fine. Yeah.
And then you add a little bit of
A little bit of guacamole to your,
And then I'm going to choose to have my beans and my rice on the side. There it goes. So,
spoonful of rice.
spoonful of rice.
You're throwing everything.
And then a little bit of beans.
Well, I like to have the rice on the side. You can have it whichever way you like.
Yep.
A little bit of tinga on the side.
Yeah, come on.
Uh,
Oh, that's a lot of salt.
And I'm going to have some beans.
Now with Mexican food, do not be scared to use your fingers. It's absolutely fine if you just grab it like that and then give it a good bite.
Or you can use your tortilla, tear off a piece, and
That's true.
And you can just scoop the food into it. Scoop the beans. Have you got a plate? Karima, where's your
She
plate?
just eat the tortilla.
You're just going to eat tortillas. Right.
My version of the taco, it will be rice, tinga, everything in the same, and then the beans as well.
And some salsa.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some sauce. And then I'm just gonna take you some sauce, Stella. Thank you so much.
A squeeze of lime. Put
Definitely.
some lime over your food. You can have it in whichever way you want to eat it. Right? Stick it into the tortilla, make a taco with it. Put it on the side. Eat it from the side. Where's your plate, my dear? You've been...
She just eat tortillas.
And we're going to have your empanadas.
Ooh.
Now we say Viva la Mexico.
Yeah, are you going to eat an empanada?
Of course I am.
Okay. So that will be your empanada. And here we go. I
Salud.
hope you've enjoyed this, everybody. Salud.
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 Viva la Mexico.
Viva Mexico. Bye-bye.
Salud, Stella.
Salud.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
very
having
much.
us.
Thank you very much, guys.
I want to say as well, thank you for Tom and Tina that
And
have
Tilly for
done
having
the
us.
behind of the scenes, helping us with all the things that we need to do. Thank you so much for your help.
We hope you've enjoyed the food.
Definitely,
the
we're gonna
Cookalong.
leave food. We have food for days as well.
Yes, and you can order the food through the web address that's given. So if you want to get in touch with Rodolfo, Kareem, and Maya,
Yeah, we
to
also
get
do
order the
catering for
food.
events.
You can cater for events, cater for weddings, parties, whatever you like. You're most welcome to get in touch with them. You can get in touch with the people whose links are going for the tequila. And, well, what else? Karima is here, of course, to make empanadas. Yes, and she's enjoying empanadas.
And we also have a website of the Ajolote Mexican food. So you can also check us out there.
Yes, there we go. So there is a web link given to you. Well, thank you very much, everybody. We hope you've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed talking to you and cooking along. And thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Stella.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Everybody. Salud. Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Thank you,
I
all our
see
friends.
you there. Don't hide, Mom. I can see you.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Adiós.
Hasta luego.
Hasta la próxima.
Viva la Mexico.
Viva Mexico.